Ladies and gentlemen, comfort is one of the greatest traps life can ever set for us. It feels good, it feels safe, it feels familiar. But let me tell you something, the same comfort that gives you security can also rob you of your destiny. Because comfort zones are not where dreams are fulfilled. They are where dreams go to die quietly, slowly, without you even realizing it. When you look at your life and wonder why things feel stagnant, why the fire seems dim, why the results aren't matching your potential, the answer is simple. You've been sitting too long in comfort and nothing grows there. Comfort will whisper to you, don't take that risk. Don't make that call. Don't speak up. Don't try. Stay right where you are. And many people listen to that voice. But the voice of greatness says, get up, stretch yourself. Step out into the unknown, because outside of comfort, that's where your future's waiting. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it's uncertain. Yes, it feels uncomfortable. But isn't that the price of progress? Every champion was once a beginner who dared to be uncomfortable. Every leader once stood in the shadows trembling before stepping onto the stage of destiny. Every success story is written in the ink of risk, struggle, and sacrifice. The truth is, fear will always show up when you're stepping into new territory. But fear is not a stop sign, it's a compass. It's pointing you toward where you need to go. Fear only shows up when you're stretching, when you're leaving what is safe and stepping into who you were meant to become. That's why you must feel it, face it, and move through it anyway. Growth is a process of breaking routines, breaking patterns, and breaking excuses. And it's not easy, but neither is living with regret. You see, you can pay the price of discipline today or pay the price of regret tomorrow, but both have a price. Only one leads you to greatness. So I challenge you, stop settling for comfort. Break the chains. Push yourself when it's hard. Keep going when it's painful, because one day you'll look back and realize that every step outside your comfort zone was a step closer to the life you were created to live. Comfort zones are seductive. They wrap around you like a warm blanket on a cold night, making you believe that this is where you belong, that this is where you should stay. But here's the truth. Comfort zones are silent prisons. They don't keep you safe, they keep you small. They don't protect your potential, they suffocate it. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you're choosing stagnation over growth. You're saying yes to staying the same and no to the life you could have. Nothing extraordinary has ever been built inside the walls of comfort. Airplanes weren't invented in comfort. Movements weren't born in comfort. Greatness wasn't discovered in comfort. It was born out of people who were willing to be stretched, to be tested, to be uncomfortable, and to walk into the unknown with courage. The only thing comfort guarantees you is familiarity, and familiarity will never give you a future worth fighting for. The reason comfort feels so safe is because it doesn't demand risk. You don't have to fail in your comfort zone. You don't have to be criticized. You don't have to stretch your abilities. But let me tell you something powerful. If you don't risk failure, you'll never taste victory. If you don't risk being uncomfortable, you'll never know what it feels like to be unstoppable. Comfort may keep you from falling, but it will also keep you from flying. Here's the danger. Comfort zones are not painful, they're painless. And because they don't hurt, you don't even realize they're killing your dreams. At least when you struggle, you know you're alive. At least when you fail, you know you tried. But when you settle into comfort, you slowly die on the inside, day by day. While the world never sees the greatness you are capable of. That's the tragedy of staying comfortable. So how do you break out? You decide. You decide that living the same life, day after day, year after year, is no longer acceptable. You decide that the risk of staying the same is greater than the risk of change. You decide that your dream is worth being uncomfortable for. Because the truth is, every time you step out of your comfort zone expands. What once felt terrifying will one day feel normal. What once made you afraid will one day make you proud. Growth only happens when you're willing to face the discomfort, lean into the fear, and trust that on the other side of that discomfort is the life you were meant to live. Stop letting comfort rob you of your destiny. Stop letting safety steal your story. Step out, stretch, stumble, fall if you must, but get up and keep going. Because the life you want, the greatness you're searching for, will never be found in comfort. It's waiting for you just outside those walls, daring you to come and claim it. Fear is the loudest voice standing between you and your destiny. It whispers lies in your ear, telling you that you're not ready, that you're not good enough, that if you try, you will fail. But fear only has as much power as you give it. Fear feeds on your hesitation, your doubts, your unwillingness to step forward. The moment you confront it, the moment you stare it down, you'll realize that fear is nothing more than smoke and mirrors. It looks big, it feels heavy. But when you move through it, it vanishes like mist in the morning sun. The truth is, fear will always show up when you're about to do something that matters. That's why you have to learn to walk with fear, not wait for it to disappear. Some people believe courage means the absence of fear. It doesn't. Courage means moving forward in spite of it. It means saying, yes, I'm afraid, but I refuse to let fear make my decisions. Fear is natural, but being controlled by it is a choice. And every time you let fear control you, you're allowing it to rob you of opportunities of growth of the future you were created for. I want you to remember this. Fear is not your enemy. It's a signpost. Fear shows up when you're on the edge of something important. It's a signal that you're about to step into new territory, into growth, into possibility. So instead of running from it, learn to recognize it for what it is, a challenge to rise higher. The greatest victories are always on the other side of fear. If you let fear stop you, you'll always stay on this side of comfort. But if you push through it, you'll discover strengths you never knew you had. Think about your life right now. How many dreams have you buried because of fear? How many opportunities have slipped through your hands because you said, what if it doesn't work? Instead, ask yourself, what if it does? What if this step changes everything? What if this decision opens doors you never imagined? Fear will always focus on the worst case scenario, but faith dares you to believe in the best. You've got to stop rehearsing your failures and start visualizing your victories. Don't allow fear to paralyze you into inaction. When fear rises, act anyway, speak anyway, move anyway. Because every time you do, you weaken fear's grip on your life. You begin to reprogram your mind to understand that you are not defined by fear. You are defined by your choices. And the choice you make today will determine the story you tell tomorrow. Let fear be the fuel, not the chains. Let it remind you that you're alive, that you're daring, that you're chasing something worth fighting for. Fear will knock at your door every time you aim higher, but you don't have to let it inside. Keep moving, keep building, keep climbing, because the more you face your fears, the smaller they become and the greater you will rise. Failure is not the end, it's feedback. Too many people treat failure as a final verdict, as if it stamps unworthy across their lives. But the truth is, failure is a teacher, and the lessons it gives are more valuable than any success you'll ever have. Success whispers, but failure shouts. Success makes you comfortable, but failure makes you grow. If you've fallen, it's not because you were meant to stay down. It's because you needed to rise stronger, wiser, and more determined than before. Every person you admire, every person you've seen achieve greatness has a trail of failures behind them. They've stumbled, they've been rejected, they've been doubted, but they didn't let that define them. They chose to see failure as part of the process. That's the difference between those who make it and those who don't. It's not about talent, it's not about luck, it's about refusing to give up when things go wrong. Failure is not your enemy, quitting is. When you embrace failure as feedback, you stop taking it personally. You stop saying, I failed, so I am a failure. No, you say, I failed, so I learned something. You see the cracks in your plan, the weaknesses in your preparation, and you use that knowledge to get better. That's what makes failure powerful. It reveals what success hides. Success can blind you into thinking you've got it all figured out, but failure opens your eyes. Think about it, a child learning to walk falls countless times, but not once does that child say, walking isn't for me. No, they get back up again and again until they master it. Somewhere along the way, we grow older and start treating failure as a signal to stop instead of a signal to try differently. That mindset kills more dreams than anything else. Failure is proof that you're trying. Failure is evidence that you're reaching beyond your comfort zone. If you're not failing at something, you're probably not aiming high enough. You're playing safe, living small, settling for less. But when you dare to fail, you also dare to succeed. And the sweet taste of success becomes even more meaningful because you fought, struggled, and bled for it. So the next time you stumble, don't waste time beating yourself up. Ask yourself, what did I learn? How can I apply this? Where do I go from here? And then get back up and move forward. Failure is only permanent if you stop trying. But if you keep pressing, if you keep knocking on that door, one day it will open. Remember, diamonds are formed under pressure and gold is refined in fire. Your failures are not breaking you, they are shaping you. They are preparing you for the version of yourself you need to become to carry the success you dream of. Don't run from failure. Don't hide from it. Embrace it, study it, rise from it, and let it fuel the fire that pushes you to your next level. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. It's not the talent you were born with. It's not the opportunities you were handed. It's the decisions you make every single day when nobody is watching. Discipline is saying yes to your future and no to your excuses. It's waking up when you don't feel like it, pushing forward when it's uncomfortable, and staying focused when distractions are pulling you in every direction. You see, motivation is fleeting. Motivation is like a spark. It burns bright for a moment and then fades. But discipline is the firewood that keeps the flame alive. It doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It doesn't ask for permission. Discipline says, do it anyway. That's the secret to consistent progress, doing what must be done whether you feel like it or not. Every champion you admire, every success story you've ever heard, has one thing in common: discipline. Not a single one of them got where they are by taking shortcuts. They didn't win because they were lucky. They won because they mastered themselves. They built habits that carried them forward when their emotions tried to pull them back. They understood that discipline was not punishment. It was freedom. The freedom to achieve, the freedom to grow, the freedom to create a life on their terms. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about showing up day after day, even when progress feels invisible. It's about laying brick after brick, trusting that one day the wall will stand tall. Too often people give up because they can't see results fast enough. They don't realize that discipline compounds small, consistent actions add up to massive change over time. The body you want, the business you dream of, the life you crave, it's built one disciplined step at a time. Let me tell you, distractions are always going to be there. The world will always offer you an easier path, a quicker fix, a softer pillow. But success does not come to the comfortable. Success comes to the discipline. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you cast a vote for your future self. You're telling your future, I've got you. I'm willing to pay the price today so you can live the reward tomorrow. And here's the truth, discipline will test you. It will stretch you. It will ask more of you than you think you can give. But in the process, it will transform you. You'll discover strength you didn't know you had, resilience you didn't know existed, and power you didn't realize was within you all along. So don't wait for motivation to show up. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start now and let discipline carry you through. Because when discipline becomes your lifestyle, greatness becomes your destiny. Setbacks are not the end of your story. They are the raw material from which comebacks are built. Too often, people see a closed door and assume the journey is over. They let disappointment convince them that life has written its final chapter. But hear me clearly, every setback carries within it the seed of a greater comeback. The obstacle is not there to destroy you, it's there to develop you. The pain you feel is not meant to break you, it's meant to awaken you the power you didn't know you had. Think about it. The greatest victories in life rarely come from smooth, easy roads. They are born in the valley of failure, in the dark nights of doubt, in the storms that test your faith. That's where resilience is forged. That's where you learn who you really are. When everything is comfortable, you don't grow. Growth happens when you're stretched, when you're tested, when you face something that feels bigger than you. But in those moments, you discover that you are bigger than the moment. Setbacks are not signs to quit. They are signals to rise. Every time life knocks you down, you have a choice to stay down or get back up stronger. The comeback doesn't happen because the world suddenly makes it easier for you. It happens because you decide that quitting is not an option. You decide to keep moving, even if it's one step at a time. You decide that the story of your life will not be defined by the struggle, but by the strength you showed in the struggle. Let me tell you something powerful. The comeback is always greater than the setback. That's why you can't let your present pain blind you to your future promise. That disappointment, that failure, that rejection, it's temporary. It may have delayed you, but it doesn't have the authority to defeat you unless you hand it the pen and let it write your ending. Don't give your setbacks that kind of power. Take the pen back, write your next chapter, and let your story be one of victory. Your scars are not proof of weakness. They are evidence of survival. They show that you went through something and you made it out stronger, wiser, tougher. That's what makes your comeback so powerful. It's not just about winning, it's about transforming. It's about using what tried to break you as fuel to build something greater. When people see you rise from your setback, they don't just see your victory. They see what's possible for them too. So the next time life knocks you down, don't cry, why me? Instead declare, try me. Use the setback as your setup for a comeback. Stand tall, look forward, and keep pressing on. Because when you refuse to stay down, when you choose to rise again, you become unstoppable. And your comeback will not just inspire you, it will inspire the world.